Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Court in the City, and I'm here to do a fun little vlog about the pictures you saw and the stories behind them when I went to Europe. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been telling you guys that I was going to tell you about my Europe trip for months now. I went in August of 2019. I went to Europe for 2 weeks, and guess what? I'm here to tell you guys about it. Let's first say, on the way to the airport, I had packed my bags. I had been up super late. My boyfriend gets my suitcase down the steps and one of the wheels breaks off. I knew that my suitcase was on like the last leg after I went on my Aruba trip. Like when we were going through the airport, the wheels were kind of bendy, but I really thought I could get one last use out of this suitcase. So we'll just start by saying that I did the whole trip with a 3-wheeled suitcase. It was not easy, but I'm not gonna let that like mess my trip up because I was going to Europe for 2 weeks. We went to Paris and we went to Rome. So my first week was in Paris. So I went to Paris. I flew from DC to Paris, and then I flew from Paris to Rome and stayed there for a week, and then I flew back from Rome. Well, I flew from Rome back to Paris, and then I stayed in this really cute, super cute hotel, which was the most money I've ever spent, but I deserved it. And then I went home. So 2 weeks away. The first picture I posted was a picture of me at the Eiffel Tower. All right, so a little bit about that picture. So I did go to the Eiffel Tower, but what you did not know about that picture is when I got there, it was packed. Like it was people everywhere, people like trying to sell me stuff, and I don't know why or what was the reason, but like when men wanted to get our attention, like the people that were selling stuff, they were like, Lady Gaga, Lady Gaga. Before we went to the Eiffel Tower, I went to the Arc de Triomphe. I don't think I'm saying it right. Someone pronounced it and I was like, oh, that's not how I'm saying it. But the Arc de Triomphe. So I went there, took a few pictures, had a good little time. And we were like, okay, we're going to walk to the Eiffel Tower. It's not a super close walk, but we walked. So we walked, starts pouring down raining. So we slide into this little cafe and I get some food, get some coffee, get all this cute stuff. Then, we start walking back to the Eiffel Tower. So we get there. It's a lot of people out there. People everywhere. We're trying to take pictures. Like we're just trying to see. And the next thing you know, it starts pouring down raining again. But at this point, we're at the Eiffel Tower. We're not going in. Like it was really nothing to do. So these men that were calling me Lady Gaga, excuse me, sir, Lady Gaga needs an umbrella. Okay, so that's just one thing you didn't know about that picture. Like I got rained on so hard, so wet. I had mud all on my shoes, all on my dress. But after it stopped raining, we got the taxi driver to drop us off somewhere else. And we went exploring because you just got to go with the punches. That was a little bit about that picture in Paris. The next picture I posted, I think I went to Disneyland Paris because it was my birthday. I was turning 30. 30, girl, like I turned 30. So I went out there. We went to Disneyland Paris. I went to Disneyland on my actual birthday. I was super excited. But Disneyland Paris was a different beast. Let me just say this. I have never been to any of the Disney parks, not even the ones in the US. I just wanted to go out there. I saw that it was a thing. I like roller coasters. I like Disney. So boom, 30th birthday at Disneyland Paris. I took public transportation there. So Jasmine, my friend, I'm going to keep talking about her because she keeps me safe on these trips, y'all. So Jasmine figured out their train subway system and got me to Disneyland Paris. As soon as we walk out the door, it's like the most crowded thing that I've ever seen. There's so many people, like people are all over people are everywhere. So we finally get into the park after standing in 50 million lines, only for it to be 50 million lines everywhere. But I was able to get in 2 parks for $100. So yeah, it was super cheap. It wasn't that expensive to go to both of their parks at Disneyland Paris. So we got on like 2 rides because the lines were so long. I don't know if mine works. Look at Jasmine's score and mine. What? Look at your score. I was like, all right, I need food. I need food. I need food. Paris, I didn't really have much luck finding good vegetarian food because I don't even really remember everything I ate. I just remember this day I stood in line thinking I was about to get a grilled cheese sandwich, only for me to get up there and the girl's like, that's lasagna. Can I just have a fruit cup then? Because I was so hungry. So we get back on the train to go back to our hotel, and we ended up getting off at the wrong stop. But the way it worked, like, we couldn't get back on the train, like, after we had left the station, but then the station won't even trying to let us out. Like, it was just a whole lot of stuff. We had to get help by the man. He was like, just make sure you don't do it again. So we ended up walking very far back to our hotel. So far, oh my gosh. Mind you, we had a reservation at Crazy Horse. If you don't know what Crazy Horse is, it's a burlesque show. And it's where Beyonce filmed Partition. So now I'm friends with Beyonce. But yeah, so we had a dinner at Crazy Horse. So we're trying to like get back because that was one of the things I was super excited about, seeing this show. So we finally made it back to the hotel, and it was in a moment where they weren't really serving food. So what I realized about the hotel that we stayed in, which was a Marriott, I'll try to link it down below. Maybe not, whatever. Hotels aren't that hard to find. But we stayed at a Marriott. And they like open for breakfast, then close for breakfast, then it's a time frame, and then they open for lunch, close for lunch, and the same for dinner. So we were there during a time where they weren't really opened, and I was like, can somebody just make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And the guy was like, oh, what? I was like, oh, my bad. But they did end up letting us get like french fries, and Jasmine got a sandwich. Like, we got food or whatever. While we're in there like rushing to get the Crazy Horse, my dress was wrinkled. I couldn't get the wrinkles out. Like, it was a time. So we went to Crazy Horse. Crazy Horse was such a good time. You couldn't take pictures in there. That was like one of the best birthdays ever. My friend Jasmine, shout out to Jasmine. She always makes sure I have such a good time on my trips. And yeah, she planned all that. So Crazy Horse was super cute. After my birthday, we went to Rome or whatever. So we went to Rome, got to the hotel. We were having a good time. So the first thing I did in Rome was I went to the Trevi Fountain. What y'all don't know is I was sweating so bad under my wig. Wearing a wig in Europe in August was the worst thing that I could have ever done. That wig was so sweaty. It was like smelling crazy up under there. So it ended up starting off like a long wig. Then I cut it into a bob, and then I just stopped wearing it. So that's what happened. So I went to the Trevi Fountain. It was so many people out there, like people trying to make you pay to take pictures. Like, it was people everywhere. Me and my girl was like, we're gonna go find something to eat. We left the Trevi Fountain to go to get pasta, and we go into this place, like a little pasta place that we found, like a little home restaurant, and it seemed like we was in there with the mafia. Like, the man had on like this Versace shirt, like these gold frames, but he was so nice. Like, nothing like I thought would be the mafia, but they probably were the mafia, because it was just us and then like this table of guys in there that they sent us drinks. They gave us like money off our meal. Like, it was a good time. Like, Rome really loved me. So that's just a little bit about that part of the trip. We also did a lot of walking in Rome. We did a lot of walking in Rome, but I worked out for this. So Rome was super fun. I went to the Colosseum while I was in Rome again. The Colosseum was packed. Someone gave us advice before we went to get a cut the line tour ticket, which I'm so happy we did, because if you ever just roll up on something like that, that and the Palace of Versailles in Paris, like, if you roll up on either of those places, the line is crazy. But it does feel good for you to have like a cut the line ticket, get in before not everyone, but before the people waiting in line. But it still be a lot of people up in there, like. Yeah, so we went to the Coliseum. That was the day I took my wig off, because it was just like too hot. So I'll show y'all that picture too. And then after we went to the Coliseum, we ended up going back to the room because that was like our last night there. We decided that we were going to go out. We were like, we haven't gone out. We haven't done the nightlife anywhere. We're going to go out. But that's very hard when you start drinking very early in the day. Like, we went up to the rooftop bar. They were like, oh, we've seen y'all. Here y'all go. Here's this Cosmopolitan. Like, we were just drinking all day. Like, the hotel was putting drinks in our room. And I kept being like, Jasmine, we got to go out. So earlier in the day, we went to Hard Rock Cafe because it said they had an Impossible Burger. I don't care where I'm at. I want a burger. I always want a burger. Like, I'll eat the local food, but at this point, it was almost time for us to go. Like, I want a burger. So we went to Hard Rock. People always know when you're American or whatever. So we met this guy that worked there who was American. He was just really like, I'm here with my wife. Like, y'all should go to this place. It's an American club. They play American music. Like, it'll be a good time. So we made plans to go to this club. So we went out to eat before we went to the club. And then we go to the club, which ended up being just like a really little bar. It was like a really little bar, but whatever. We went in there. They were playing music we knew. There was people in there. It was a good vibe. I didn't know it was going to be the best vibe. All right, so our last night in Rome, like I told y'all, we were drinking all day. So we go to this club and we end up talking to this girl who's from the US. She hasn't been home in a little while, but she's dating this guy who barely speaks English. But me and Jazz was like, we're not there to judge. We're talking to them. We're doing all this. And then she was like, yeah, I'm just pretty much with him to have sex with him. And then she made him buy drinks. So I'm like, okay, girl, whatever you got to do, like, do it. So we were having a good time with those people. And then next thing you know, these other girls just started like talking to us. And they were like, where y'all from? We love y'all. So they bought shots for us. And then they had these dudes with them. And the dudes bought shots for us too. Mind you, I do not take shots. I'm a wine drinking type of girl. I don't be taking shots. So in the midst of me taking these shots, girl, I had to throw up. I was like, oh no. If you know me, I'm going to disappear to do whatever I need to do. And that night, I had to disappear to go throw up in the bathroom because I was like, who do I think I am? So I get to the room, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go step outside. I'm going to call my sister. I'm going to do this and I'm going to just smoke on this balcony. Get out to the outside part. It was no handle to get back in. So mind you, I'm already drinking. And now I'm out here smoking, talking to my sister, not even thinking like, having a good old merry little time out on these steps only for me to go back to the door and I can't get in.
When you can see your room, but there's no handle to get back in the door. I don't know if I was supposed to come out here.
So I called Jasmine. Mind you, my signal is crazy. Like, I can't really do too much and I'm calling Jasmine. So she ain't answering the phone. And I'm like, okay. Y'all, it was literally like go up or down. So I ended up going down and I found like this little rooftop to get in. I'm like, yes, I can get back in. Nope, it was no handle on that door either. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? So I just ended up finding some steps like up on the roof and just walking down. Luckily, thank goodness, one of these doors like open for me to get back out to the street, only for me to be in the front of the hotel. And there was a dude out there throwing up. Just throwing up on the ground. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I get back to the room, tell Jasmine about how I was just like on a roof trying to get back into the hotel because we were up on like the 10th floor. So I had to like figure out how to get from there all the way back down with none of the handles on the outside. I mean, none of the doors having handles on the outside. So they're about to do throwing up. Like, it was a time. But we did all this and we had the earliest flight to get back to Paris the next morning. So I was like, all right, let me lay down. Let me pack my stuff. You know how you lay down and you drunk, your body's just like, so I'm like, oh my gosh, we're not going to make it. So I get up the next morning. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take some Tylenol. I'm going to do whatever. And we get a taxi. Still hungover. This man is driving the fastest of any car that I've ever been in. That man was driving so fast. We weren't even in a rush to get to the airport. It was just like, that's just what they do. I was scared for my life, hungover, ready to throw up in this back seat. Like, I need water. I need this. I need something, honey, because I'm not going to last. So we finally get to the airport after what I felt was the most dangerous ride of my life. We get back to Europe and we get to the hotel. I mean, not Europe. We get back to Paris and we get to our new hotel and we can't check in yet. Yeah. So the woman that works there, like a lot of people, before you go to Paris, learn French, learn some French. Like, won't nobody even trying to mess with me when we ain't speak no French. Like, they'll be like, oh, you speak English? I don't speak English. But they'll legit say like English words to let you know that they don't speak English, even though they speak in English, but they just ain't trying to help. So if you go to Paris, learn to speak French. The lady in the lobby is just trying to like talk to me. I didn't understand, so I just kept saying like yes, 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 like yes to whatever she said. Next thing I know, she bought me like some water. It was this seltzer water. That's another thing. Like a lot of times they give you sparkling water over there, and I'm like, no thanks. But it just ain't for me. So we finally get in the room, and you know, we do whatever we're gonna do, and we decide that we're gonna go back to the Eiffel Tower that night. Like, we got some dinner and we went back to the Eiffel Tower. I posted that picture. What you don't know is after that picture, I went to get a souvenir for my niece, and we were at a little stand, and the next thing I know, this lady the lady helping me that works there just like runs out of the stand, and she's like screaming or whatever. So the other dude that worked there, he like, where'd she go? I'm like, she just went running off. Look, somebody didn't try to steal. She didn't went and snatched the clothes from him and then hit this man, like legit punched the man. That was stealing. She came back so upset, and I'm just like, I need this snow globe. So yeah, that's just a few of the stories that happened in my Paris trip. Like, I got a tattoo while I was in Rome. I'll show those. We had a really good time. The man that we met for tattoos was super nice. He was so nice. And he was in there by himself. He just wanted us to have everything. He didn't want no tip. Even though in order for me to go to the ATM to get money, I had to walk through this crazy alley. This was a crazy, scary alley by myself because Jasmine was getting her tattoo. And I was like, ugh. But yeah, that's it for my Paris trip. That's some of the things that happened around the time of the pictures that you guys saw. If you like this, go ahead and put a like there. If you don't, still like it because I'm cute and I'm fun, and please.